What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, we talk about NASCAR silly season and take a look at the answered and unanswered questions in regards to 2023 to 2024 NASCAR silly season. In the last month, there's been a lot of bombshell and massive silly season moves that have taken place. We're going to go ahead and answer those questions today. Let's begin with the answer questions. About the week of the Bristol week, it would be announced that Sam Mayer would be returning to the one for Junior Motorsports in 2024. Sam Mayer has had a great year with Junior Motorsports, already scoring 3 wins in the 2024 season, and will be expected to continue doing great things with Junior Motorsports in 2024. During that same week, it would be announced that Shane Van Gisbergen has signed a development deal with Trackhouse Racing. The number of races in the schedule has not been disclosed currently at the moment from Trackhouse Racing, but Shane Van Gisbergen will have a long-term deal with Trackhouse. The goal is for him to eventually go full-time at Trackhouse Racing in the 2025 season. Then during Bristol week, there were a couple major silly season signings that took place. First, it would be finalized that Zane Smith would be driving for Trackhouse Racing / Spire starting in 2024. He'll be driving for Spire Motorsports in the 2024 season, most likely in the number 78 car, though Live Fast Motorsports, despite selling their charter for 2024, he'll likely have that number 78 number for 2024. The goal for Trackhouse Racing is to inevitably move Zane Smith into the Trackhouse Racing family in the 2025 season. Nonetheless, a great move for Zane Smith going into this upcoming season. During that same week and the day before that, Daniel Hemrick will be finalized to be driving the number 31 for Kaulig Racing in 2024. With him being part of the Kaulig Racing family, it was not a major shock or a major surprise to see him moving into the number 31 car in 2024 with this sponsorship and following. Then a few weeks later, Sammy Smith would announce he'd be joining Junior Motorsports for 2024. Sammy Smith has sponsorship funding from Pilot Flying J, so it made a lot of sense. Pilot Flying J has been a former sponsor of Junior Motorsports back from, I think, 2017 up until the 2021 season. So it's a loyal sponsor with Junior Motorsports coming back to work with them heading into 2024 with a really young driver. Then a few weeks ago, it was announced that Ryan Preece would be returning to Stewart-Haas Racing in the number 41 car for 2024. This had been expected and more likely was going to end up happening, but nonetheless, great to see that Ryan Preece is returning to the number 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Hopefully, in 2024, we see some major signs of improvement for Ryan Preece next season, though SHR has struggled. Then about 2 weeks ago, it was announced that Spire Motorsports had purchased Kyle Busch Motorsports. Kyle Busch Motorsports has sold off the organization and team, according to what Kyle Busch said at the press conference. He basically said that the negotiations had gone a month prior to the announcement at Talladega Super Speedway. And I think this is a big move for Spire Motorsports as they're expanding their Cup Series operations and also their Truck Series operations. They'll have 3 trucks going into the 2024 season. Spire Motorsports making some massive and huge moves going to the future. That Gamebridge money is really coming to play to help them out. A massive move for Spire Motorsports. Then about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, about a week ago I should say, it was announced that Hailie Deegan would be joining AM Racing in 2024. Hailie Deegan's been rumored for the last 2 months moving up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. She's been really public that she did want to move up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the future, but she was going to need funding and sponsorship to move up. Luckily for her, she is going to have that sponsorship funding going to 2024 as Viva is going to be working with her, and Airbox will also be sponsoring her in 2024. AM Racing is also expected to get some really major support from Ford going forward, as Hailie Deegan is part of the Ford camp, and she becomes one of the higher prospects in the Ford camp going forward to foreseeable future, and she'll join up with AM Racing in 2024. Then this past Tuesday, it was finalized that Carson Hocevar will be driving for Spire Motorsports in 2024, driving the number 77 car. This has been the biggest kept secret in the industry over the last few months. Carson Hocevar has been doing a really good job in the NASCAR Cup Series, and I think this is absolutely a well-deserved promotion for Carson Hocevar going into the 2024 season. Seeing him move up, expectations are going to be decently high for for Carson Hocevar, but I think we have to have some pretty realistic expectations expectations when it comes to Carson Oswald for 2024. And finally, over the weekend, it was confirmed that Austin Cindric has signed a contract extension with Team Penske and will return to Team Penske in 2024. Many people were really shocked and surprised by this, considering Austin Cindric is the son of Tim Cindric, who is the president of Team Penske. Many had thought that there was a really good chance he was going to return in 2024, but it's good to see that Austin Cindric has finalized his contract with Team Penske for at least the foreseeable future. So those are the answer questions. Now let's go to the unanswered questions. Let's first talk about the number 16 car for Kaulig Racing, because there's been a lot of chatter revolving around this number 16 car. A big reason being is because, according to an article from J-Ski recently, is that AJ Allmendinger more than likely, despite winning the most recent NASCAR Cup Series race at the Charlotte Roval, it sounds more than likely at this point that AJ Allmendinger will be moving back down to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024. The big question revolves around, if AJ does in fact move back down to NASCAR Xfinity Series, who is going to take that number 16 car? Well, a few drivers have been linked to the number 16 car as of late. You have drivers like Matt DiBenedetto and even Sheldon Creed, who we talk about here in just a little bit. But the main name that many people have been linked to this number 16 car for Kaulig for 2024 is Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon has a lot of sponsorship and funding in NASCAR, lawnmowers, and Ferris motors, among other things. Is a big company working with him, and I would expect at this point that it does happen. Even though I think it will be a downgrade for Kaulig if they do in fact pick up Ty Dillon, they'll have an alliance with RCR, but it sounds like there's a good chance Ty Dillon may in fact be headed over to the 16 car in 2024. Next, let's talk about the 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing, because there's a lot of questions revolving around this 10 car. Over the week, it was reported by Bob Pockers that Eric Almirola and Smithfield were not at a sponsor summit that was supposed to take place throughout the week, where all the sponsors for each of the organizations are supposed to be at these summits for these teams. They were not at that summit. And many have been speculating over the last few months, and really since the beginning of the year, that Eric Almirola more than likely is going to retire at the end of the 2023 season. So if Eric Almirola does in fact retire at the end of the 2023 season, who takes over the number 10 car in 2024? Well, there are a few drivers who have been heavily linked to this number 10 car for 2024. Cole Custer at one point has been named as the front runner for the 10 car for 2024, but Cole Custer, again, there's a lot of talk he also could return to the NASCAR Xfinity Series to continue driving the 00 car in the 2024 season. A name, though, that has emerged, especially as of late, that could take over the 10 car in 2024 is Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson, about a month and a half ago to 2 months ago, was reinstated back into the sport. Obviously, Noah Gragson had been suspended for reasons I'm not going to talk about here, but Noah Gragson recently has been reinstated back into the sport. He's running the ASA series, and one thing you know is that Noah Gragson does have some sponsorship funding that does come along with him. So there is a potential possibility that we could end up seeing Noah Gragson move into the 10 car. Now, it's no secret Stewart-Haas Racing has been on the struggle bus, but a theory that's been going around from some people is that we could see Stewart-Haas Racing maybe switch from maybe potentially Ford and go back to Chevy like they used to, because Noah Gragson has been part of the Chevy camp since 2019 when he moved from the Truck Series from the 18 team up to the number 9 car for Junior Motorsports. I would imagine that there's a chance that Noah Gragson, if he does move up to SHR, that could be a potential possibility. Next, let's talk about Rick Ware Racing, because there's been a little bit of rumors circulating about Rick Ware Racing as of late. According to Private Porno on Twitter, which has been a credible source in the industry, Riley Herbst could potentially, he's got an announcement coming here in the next few weeks, and Riley Herbst is linked to potentially driving for Rick Ware Racing on a full-time basis in 2024. Now, we already know that Just Haley will be driving on a full-time basis, sign a multi-year deal with Rick Ware Racing for 2024, but it sounds like Riley Herbst may have an opportunity and chance to join him up in 2024. Now, Riley Herbst has been pretty impressive on the Super Speedways for the Cup Series, but outside of that, there really hasn't been a lot of things to be excited about for Riley Herbst. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the issues of Riley Herbst in 2024 have really not been his fault. I think Riley Herbst is a talented driver and deserves a chance, a shot, and an opportunity in a very, very competitive car. Is he going to get that opportunity? I don't know. Rick Ware has shown improvement this year, yes, but I'm not sure at this point if he really deserves to go Cup racing, but it does sound like, because he does, remember, has some sponsorship and funding from Monsters and Terrible Herbst that could work with him. I think there's a really good chance that Riley Herbst may be moving into the Rick Ware Racing family in the 2024 season. Next, let's talk about Joe Gibbs Racing's NASCAR Xfinity Series program, because there's a lot of wild cards going on with this team. Obviously, we know John Nemechek is moving up to drive with Legacy Motor Club in the 2024 season. And Sammy Smith, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, is going to be moving to Junior Motorsports in 2024. So that opens up a bunch of drivers who could end up driving for the team. Now, Ryan Truex has a great possibility of driving for this team full-time in 2024 in the Xfinity Series, but there's other drivers who recently have been linked. Chandler Smith is among those drivers recently, according to what Matt Weaver has said. Chandler Smith could potentially return to the Toyota stable in 2024 and drive for Joe Gibbs Racing on a full-time basis. Now, there is a potential path that if Chandler Smith was in fact to go back to Toyota in 2024, that we can maybe see Chandler Smith long-term go to Legacy Motor Club, because I think Mark Truex Jr. is going to retire at the end of 2024, and I am guessing at this point that John Hunter would then be incorporated into the Joe Gibbs Racing family, and that would open up the doors for Chandler Smith to move into the Joe Gibbs Racing family or the Legacy Motor Club team in 2025 if that becomes possible. There's also rumors of maybe Sheldon Creed going there, Riley Herbst going there, Matt DiBenedetto, but it does sound like there could be some big moves going on with their Xfinity Series program for 2024, and also, of course, maybe Corey Heim gets a chance and opportunity as well. Next, let's talk about Frankie Muniz. It's no secret that Frankie Muniz is planning to make some moves and move up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series or Truck Series for 2024, but has not announced his plans as of late. According to the same private porno account, it does sound like that we may see Frankie Muniz jump straight up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024 and join RSS Racing. RSS Racing does not have their lineup set for 2024 yet. Generally, RSS Racing, Ryan Sieg's team, generally waits till the last minute to make a decision on that. Do I think Frankie Muniz is completely ready to jump up to the Xfinity Series? I'm not really sure about that at this point, but the ARCA cars are kind of similar to the Xfinity Series cars, so maybe Frankie Muniz would be able to gel really well in those cars. It is very interesting to see what happens, and he's also been linked to the 38 truck from Front Row Motorsports for 2024, but we know for sure that there's a potential possibility on that. Next, let's talk about Richard Childress Racing, because today it was announced, or yesterday when you're watching this, that Sheldon Creed will not be returning to Richard Childress Racing in 2024, meaning that the number 2 car is going to be available for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. There have been multiple drivers that people have been rumoring as of late. You do have Ty Dillon, of course, who is not returning to Spire Motorsports for 2024, who has emerged as maybe one of the lead candidates for the 2 car for 2024. You also do have Jeffrey Earnhardt. Jeffrey Earnhardt has some sponsorship from Forever Lawn and also has driven for RCR in the past, so maybe we see him go to Rich Schultz Racing at Xfinity in 2024. You also have Christian Eckes. There's been rumors as of late that Christian Eckes could move to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the 2024 season. And then there's potentially Matt DiBenedetto as well, who could be available, because Whelen is going to stay committed with them. And there's even Noah Gragson, who could even, in fact, go to RCR in 2024, but I'm not sure if that is going to end up happening. And I'll even mention Shane Van Gisbergen as well, because Shane Van Gisbergen, he does have the development deal. Maybe he goes full-time with Rich Schultz Racing in 2024. It is going to be kind of interesting to see what happens in regards to that. And then finally, you have the Kaulig Xfinity Series program, because there's a lot of talk in regards to this Xfinity Series program for 2024. It's sounding like AJ Allmendinger is going to return to the Kaulig Xfinity Series team in the 2024 season. However, there are a few drivers who could drive for Kaulig's Xfinity Series program. Obviously, I've already talked about this, but Chandler Smith may, in fact, get his contract bought out from Kaulig Racing and might return to the Joe Gibbs Racing pipeline. So this could open up a door for drivers like Matt DiBenedetto and Shane Van Gisbergen to drive for the team, as Matt DiBenedetto does not have a ride currently for 2024 currently at the moment. I think it's been very interesting to see who goes there. There's also possibly maybe even Christian Eckes or even a guy like Nick Sanchez going there as well, though I think Nick Sanchez is returning to Spire Motorsports truck program for 2024. But Kaulig Racing is making some pretty big moves, and I think some of the moves they're making are hopefully going to help the team, but I think that there's some uncertainty in regards to what's going to happen with that organization. So that is going to be it for the special recap on everything that's happened up to this point in this silly season. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me through Facebook and Instagram, as we're on Patreon as well. Let's go over that and comment your thoughts below on today's video. What do you think is going to happen in the rest of the 2024 NASCAR silly season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the show is going to be a silly season recap, talk about all the silly season news over the last couple days. And there's also expected that there will potentially be a NASCAR news video as well if there's enough news that breaks over the week. And then on Saturday, we'll have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race picks for Las Vegas. Actually, race preview from Las Vegas. And then Sunday, we'll have the NASCAR Cup Series race preview from Las Vegas. Got a lot of NASCAR content dropping on the channel over the next 2 weeks, and I cannot wait for you guys to check it out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.